Steve Jobs, the American innovator and co-creator of Apple, has died tonight at the age of 56 after a long battle with pancreatic cancer. Jobs resigned from day-to-day operations at Apple in August, but he retained the title of chairman of the board. His personality, sense of style, and meticulous attention to design created one of the world's largest corporations and changed the way that millions of people communicate and create. John Blackstone is live in Steve Jobs' hometown of San Francisco. John?
Good evening, Scott. Well, late this afternoon, Apple released this statement. It's one that we had been sadly expecting since he stepped down as chairman. Apple said simply, "We are deeply saddened to announce that Steve Jobs passed away today. Steve's brilliance, passion, and energy were the source of countless innovations that enrich and improve all our lives. The world is immeasurably better because of Steve." Now, we last saw Steve Jobs at an Apple conference here in San Francisco back in June. He was looking extremely thin, as he has for 6 or 7 years now, but he did look vibrant and was almost had the life that he did as a young man, appearing at these Apple conferences.
And thank you very much.
In his signature blue jeans and black turtleneck, Steve Jobs became familiar as Apple's super salesman, unveiling technology that would excite consumers and shake up whole industries.
Oh, light tunnel's really great when you want to sort of play God here.
In 2001, he changed the way we buy and listen to music with the iPod.
I think when you actually see one of these things, you're going to just be blown away with how beautiful it is and how thin it is.
Consumers were blown away. The iPod, along with Apple's iTunes store, made it easy to buy and download music digitally. As CD sales faded, the iTunes store became the world's biggest music retailer. Next, Jobs disrupted the cell phone industry. The iPhone dramatically expanded expectations of what a smartphone should do.
iPhone is like having your life in your pocket. It's the ultimate digital device.
Then, in 2010, Jobs unveiled the iPad, and the tablet computer became the next big thing.
It's so much more intimate than a laptop, and it's so much more capable than a smartphone with this gorgeous large display.
In this case, lightning has struck at the same spot again and again and again.
Paul Sappho has watched the rise of technology in Silicon Valley since the 1970s.
Some people say, well, Steve was the marketing guy. It was deeper than that. He had a very profound aesthetic sense of what people want.
Even as the public face of Apple, Jobs was extremely protective of his privacy. But in a 2005 commencement speech at Stanford University, he spoke revealingly of his early life and birth in 1955.
My biological mother was a young, unwed graduate student, and she decided to put me up for adoption.
He grew up south of San Francisco in what would become Silicon Valley, starting Apple in his parents' garage in 1976. By 1981, long before most people had ever touched a personal computer, a bearded Steve Jobs told CBS News he was certain computers would become an essential part of our lives.
It's not going to happen at once. It's just going to be very gradual and very human, and will seduce you into learning how to use it.
The first Macintosh computer in 1984 seduced customers with technology that was stylishly designed and easy to use.
Innovations really are driving the technology right into the center of our lives.
What?
Jobs was involved in the movies, too, buying the animation company Pixar, which produced hits such as Toy Story. In 2009, after a 6-month medical leave from Apple, Jobs made an uncharacteristically personal announcement.
As some of you may know, about 5 months ago, I had a liver transplant. So I'm vertical. I'm back at Apple, loving every day of it.
But in 2011, he took a second medical leave, though he didn't entirely leave work behind. He sat beside President Obama at a dinner with Silicon Valley leaders. He appeared at an Apple conference to promote a software update. And he turned up at a meeting of the Cupertino City Council to unveil plans for Apple's ambitious new headquarters.
I think we do have a shot of building the best office building in the world.
In the summer of 2011, by stock market value, Apple passed Exxon to become the most valuable company in the world. Even as his health deteriorated, Steve Jobs seemed as competitive as ever, always pushing to keep Apple at the forefront of the fast-changing digital revolution.
In the last year or so, it almost seemed that Steve Jobs was racing to get things done. Apple and Steve Jobs introducing the iPad, unveiling the company's new headquarters. It seemed that indeed his mortality was coming through. And Scott, in Silicon Valley, he was clearly one of the leaders, and this is a very sad day here.
John, what do you think this will mean to Apple?
Coincidentally, just yesterday, Apple unveiled had their first product launch without Steve Jobs, and I must say it was a far less exciting affair. Apple clearly still has many products that are leading the market, will continue to lead the market for a long time to come. I think what they may miss is the excitement that Steve Jobs brought, the excitement that his vision brought to the company, brought to the public.
Thank you, John.